Galilee. It's about 7:23 here in the morning, and it's been pretty quiet. I think since about 9:30, 10 o'clock last night, we really had very little rockets coming into Israel. There was some red alerts up in the north here, but I don't know if it was infiltration, rockets. I didn't hear anything about any damage. So Gaza's not shooting rockets again. Now that doesn't mean they won't. Now the New York Times said that the invasion was delayed for bad weather. Now, I have not heard that from any other source. So they could have picked it up somewhere, I don't know. I don't think they were creating fake news. But I've not heard that. And I live here. It's a nice sunny day up here in the north, but that doesn't mean anything. I've never heard of the IDF refraining from attacking an enemy because the weather's not good. You know, this is something I never heard of. And I didn't hear any official statement coming out of any government agency. There's very little news going forth right now. It's early in the morning, and there's not a lot of fighting going on. It appears that Hezbollah is continuing to harass us. Syria might have learned a lesson last night when we blew one of their runways up and one of their airports. Iran would pretty much have to be the village idiot to stop bringing more cargo planes into Syria. I mean, they could be that stupid, I don't know. They should have stuck with growing pistachio nuts. But, Israel badly needs a break from those rockets, especially the poor people in Ashkelon and Ashdod and Sderot and near Gaza. With us inside Gaza, it's going to be and we have been inside Gaza last night, it's very difficult for them to launch rockets. Wherever they go is going to get hit. Rifle fire, artillery, aircraft, anything and everything. Mortars, tanks will open up, mobile artillery. I mean, now remember, we still have the electric and the water and the fuel and food and everything cut off from Gaza. So these characters, Hamas, are living underground, and I expect they have a substantial supply of MRE, meals ready to eat, and other food and bottled water and stuff like that. So they're not going to get thirsty and starving and come running out. That's unlikely, but they're going to get tremendous psychological pressure, which has already begun. And they'll break down. It won't last long. They'll break down. And they'll come out. There's going to be probably many thousands or tens of thousands of them dead. They got about 40,000, and then maybe that number is counting PIJ, Palestinian Islamic Jihad. So that's around where they are. Some people say they've been up to 50,000, so maybe it's that high. But I think you'll see tens of thousands of them die in this battle. Yeah, it's going to be gruesome. It's going to be gruesome. Now, when you read Zechariah 12, which most of the bad teachers and bad prophets don't talk about, false teachers, false prophets, that's the next battle. And Gog and Magog, when you read Ezekiel 38, the Israelites are living at peace and safety, without bars and walls, with cattle and gold and goods. And guys, if anybody tries to tell you that's the Israel today, they're lying to you. I mean, we were all going in bomb shelters for years, off and on. Come on, peace and safety. No bars and walls. I live here. There's bars and walls all over the place. So let's get real, okay? It's Zechariah 12, which I don't like to teach about because the two witnesses are there in verse 6, burning up the enemies on the right hand and the left hand. They're there. Want to learn more about the two witnesses? Read Zechariah 4:14. Obviously, they came down from heaven. Combine that with Revelation 12. And when you read the last verse in Zechariah 14 as to who the two witnesses are, in the Hebrew, which it was written in, it says there's Shanaim B'nai Yitzhar. Shanaim means two, the number two. Uno, dos, tres, okay, two, right? That's what it means, period. Two. B'nai means sons. Now, lampstands don't have sons. Neither does olive trees. They have olives. Keep reading. The next word is Yitzhar. That means like clarified oil, referencing olive oil, because it says in Revelation 11 the two witnesses are the two olive trees. Okay? Standing before the Lord of the whole earth. That's Jehovah. And it calls them sons. And the word oil, Yitzhar, means anointed. The word for Yeshua, or let's go to the common parlance, Jesus Christ. Christ comes from Christos. It means anointed. The word in Hebrew, his name is Yeshua HaMashiach. Yeshua is his name in Hebrew. There's no J in the Hebrew alphabet, so God the Father's name can't be Jehovah, and the Messiah's name can't be Jesus. There's no J sound in the Hebrew alphabet. There's also, like, for instance, no TH sound. Okay? Well, let's go back. So, it's Yeshua HaMashiach. Now, the word Mashiach is used in the Old Testament about 104 times. And maybe a handful of those times it's referencing the Messiah. The rest of the time it means anointed. That's what it means. So he's called Yeshua the Anointed. What are the two witnesses called up in heaven? Shnaim B'nai Yitzhar. Two sons of clarified oil, which is the anointed one. Obviously, they came down from heaven, didn't they? They go up to heaven when they get rose from the dead on a cloud, like Yeshua. Yeshua said no one goes up to heaven unless they came down from heaven. Elijah and John the Apostle. That's who I'm talking about. Elijah and John the Apostle. If you want to do yourself a favor, get familiar with Zechariah 12. You'll see the two witnesses burning up the enemies on the right hand and the left hand. Who do you know from Revelation 11 who has fire coming out of their mouth? The two witnesses are probably going to start working in Israel any day. They're here. They're waiting for the light to go green. They'll start working openly with their big powers any day. Read it. I mean, that's all I can tell you, you know. Next, read Jeremiah 30. That's associated with the birth pains. That contains Jacob's trouble. It's the only place in the Bible you read about it. It says, great is Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. Gog and Magog, they don't all get saved out of it. In Zechariah 12, we don't read of a single Israelite there getting a sprained ankle. Now, a lot of Israelites are probably cut off before that happens. But we're on an any-day basis for Zechariah 12. When you read listen to this, when you get excited. When you read Zechariah 12, it starts off, the nations lay a siege against Judah and Jerusalem. Okay? A siege is not an invasion. A siege is a surrounding. The Romans did this. They cut off food, water, commerce, troops coming in and out, everything, right? Now, what did Israel do to Gaza? We did that. So what do you think Zechariah 12 is? It's a payback on Israel for what we did to Gaza. Bing! Now, the light bulb went off, didn't it? If you want to get more of my Bible studies, they're in YouTube on my channel, but they're in the live section because they're doing these live streams. They're not in the video section. There's nothing in there. It's all in the live. There's some great Bible studies there. Just scroll through there and see what you like. Now, I want to tell you I'm doing little coverage on YouTube about the war because it's not an appropriate venue. I don't do Facebook. I don't do Instagram. I do a little bit with Twitter, very little. And I update Telegram probably during the war at least 4 times an hour when I'm awake, which is most of the time these days. I did sleep okay last night though. And that's where you want to be if you want to follow the war closely. I give you the news from Arabic, from Hebrew. I don't get much out of American and Farsi anymore. They got everything censored in social media there. So I work social media, okay, and Hebrew. I translate from Hebrew. And I put everything in English. And there's a lot of videos, there's a lot of pictures, and you're going to really understand what's going on, and you're going to get it fast. The newspapers, you're lucky if you get information 8 or 12 hours later. Here, you'll get it. Also, I show you a channel there in Telegram where you can get the red alerts for free on Telegram, real time. So every time Israel gets hit with a rocket, or a rocket's coming in, or a missile, or a drone, or a plane, God forbid, or an infiltration, red alerts go off. They have a map where it was in Israel, and they tell you, and it's done in English, this one. And it's free. And when you get on Telegram, you could access that. Okay? So the way you get on Telegram is you download Telegram Messenger. It's a free app, free. Telegram's free. Everything's free. Nothing's a charge. This is all free, with free, over free, in free, on free. Okay? So Telegram Messenger app, then send me an email. My email address is israelgiving7@gmail.com. israelgiving7@gmail.com. It's on the bottom line of the description box under the video. All you have to do is put in the subject header, Telegram, and I will send you an invite link. So when you have the app installed, you click on the invite link, and it opens you up, and you're in the group. And nobody's leaving the group these days. Everybody likes it. You'll get a lot of Bible prophecy relating to current events. You'll get lots of stuff. It's uncensored. They encrypt it. I've got over 500 people in there, and I've been using it for years, and I've never had any trouble. Nor has anybody. It's really a safe place. 700 million plus members. It's a safe place. The app is extremely safe. You can access it with any system. All right, so that's where you really got to go to get the good coverage. I can't stay here on YouTube live streaming all the time and being careful about what I can do and can't do. And there's no censorship on Telegram. So that's my advice. I will keep putting up updates on YouTube. So make sure you subscribe and put the notification bell. Right now, things are very quiet. We're not taking rockets. Many of us are sleeping because we're up late. I went to bed at 2 a.m. I fell asleep before. I was trying to keep coverage going, and I fell asleep about, I don't know, 10:30 or something. I don't know, something like that. And I woke up at 12, and I worked for 2 hours on Telegram, and then I went to bed. Now I got up again. I feel pretty good. So it's pretty quiet. Maybe the invasion is delayed by some hours for the weather. I don't know. It could be that we have troops on the ground in Gaza, and we're going to be using support from helicopters and aircraft, and they want to make sure they got good visibility so we don't have any accidents. The Gazan people were trying to leave yesterday to go to the south of Gaza from the north because we're attacking the north. And the Hamas blocked the roads. So we documented that with video. So it's plain that Hamas wants these people as human shields. And they want to keep them there as human shields, and then at the same time rocket bomb our communities trying to kill us. It's a war crime to rocket bomb civilian communities repeatedly, not a mistake missile here and there. Constant bombardments of non-military infrastructure, like Tel Aviv, Ashdod, Ashkelon. So how much of that can the world expect us to take? So as soon as we went in, it stopped. They're underground in a vast tunnel network called the Metro, and our bombs are not all that effective because they're down deep. So what we'll do is go to we know how to find tunnels. We have special equipment we invented. We'll find the tunnels. We'll give them a message somehow. Maybe drill down and have a loudspeaker or something and say, okay, you got 5 minutes to come out. And I don't know what they'll do. Probably try to run to another part of the tunnel network. And then we'll use explosives, and the demolition guys will stack the explosives in a way that it'll blow the tunnel. We might drill down and make like a 4 or 6 inch hole down there and start dropping explosives in there, and that way we can blow the tunnel without putting 1,000 pounds of dynamite up on the top. Just small amount will do it when you're in the tunnel itself. I don't know how they're going to do it. They've got different techniques, different ways they know how to do it. They've been blowing up terrorist tunnels for several years now, and they're pretty good at it. So the days are numbered for Hamas. Not one other Muslim majority neighboring country wants to get these Gazan civilians, help them and bring them in their country. Hezbollah and Lebanon will not do it. Egypt will not take them. Jordan will not take them. Saudi will not take them. Yemen will not take them. Iraq will not take them. Syria will not take them. Turkey will not take them. No, Egypt will not. Nobody's taking them. Nobody wants them. Because they know they're there for human shield purposes to help Hamas continue the war against Israel. You have to understand that. Okay? That's reality. Alright? So, Israeli military's been told to really try not to harm civilians, but do you think that the Gazan military are going to try to dress up like civilians and walk around in groups if the soldiers relax and get near them and ambush them? Have you ever heard of a thing like that happening before? Of course not. So that's a very serious concern that has to be dealt with. But our soldiers are pretty good. So morale in Israel was pretty high, especially since the rockets seem to be not coming anymore. Hezbollah is taking an occasional poke at us just to make a show. I'm not afraid of the Americans. The Americans said that if any other country attacks us other than Gaza, they're going to block the missiles or rockets or whatever it is, and they're going to return fire to the source of the missile or rocket. And they mean it. And they've got quite a strong force here now. And Hezbollah is idiotic enough to try to take on Israel and the United States at the same time. Well, they need a psychiatrist. They don't need weapons. Iran was dumb enough to try to fly a cargo plane into Syria last night. And Israel used a missile, I believe. And we blew a nice, big, juicy, looked like a 40 or 50-foot hole in the runway of that airport. No Iranian plane. You know, how smart are they? You know? I mean, what they think we were going to do? Throw flowers at them, like in Hawaii, and put a Hawaiian lei of flowers on them when they got there? You know, they're not real bright, okay? Be cautious when people write in the chat in foreign languages. We don't know what they're writing. People have come in here in foreign languages and cursed us. People come in here in foreign languages and do all kinds of things. So just don't pay attention to them. If it keeps going on, I'll probably block them. It's an English site. All right, so I'm giving you a rough idea. So right now we're waiting. We're going to see what the day brings. So you should join me on Telegram if you want to follow this closely. This is, in my opinion, going to ultimately bring Hezbollah will eventually get into it. Syria will, Iraq will, Egypt will, Jordan will, and Iran is going to be attacked. That's going to happen. And that's what this, I think, is really about. The Iranians always say we'll get the big Satan and the little Satan, and they tell America if you attack Israel, attack us, we'll attack Israel all the time. So they're coming here to make sure we don't get clobbered for what they're going to do, which is probably going to be a joint effort, an attack on Iran. I don't think they're going to do a ground invasion. I think they're going to hit a lot of targets in Iran and give them a real bad crippling and a wake-up call and see what happens. You see, these people act crazy, but there's a point when they stop. And that point is when the country stands up to them and sends the planes and the bombs and the tanks. Then they sober up very fast. Very fast. They come out of anesthesia quickly and they wake up and they say, whoops, what did I get myself into? Okay? There's a very strong emphasis on trying to rescue the hostages in Gaza. That's on the part of Israel and on the part of America. High, high, high priority. It's an extremely difficult rescue. They're going to be placed in multiple locations, probably under the ground. So we got to be careful about blowing tunnels because we could blow hostages up. You see, this is an incredibly difficult situation. And they could put suicide vests on them, bomb belts, and they just press a button and blow the hostages up. They could shoot them when they see us coming. It's a very, very, very difficult rescue. One time years ago, Russia, under Putin, had like a symphony hall or a place where you go see a play, a thing like that, a place like that. And terrorists came and took it over, many terrorists, and they had a lot of Russian citizens as hostages. And what Putin did is he took a chemical, some type of anesthetic chemical, a gas, and he released it there. And apparently it didn't have an odor, and it was clear, I guess. I'm guessing. And I don't know if it had no water and it was clear, but I know it was a gas. They released it and it put everybody in that concert hall to sleep, the terrorists and the victims. Then they came in and they got everybody with ambulances, and gave them oxygen, and they probably gave them some drugs. And the terrorists went to jail, and the hostages were pretty much all saved. I think one or two people that had health issues didn't make it, or some very, very tiny amount. But Putin assessed the amount of loss they'd have if they stormed in like gangbusters. Elliot Ness, the Untouchables, or something, and he did this. So it was done once. It was probably 15 years ago, but it was done. I remember it well, and it'll be done again, I'm sure, or some other approach to it. But I think it's going to have to be a lot more sophisticated than just kicking the doors in. We'll find out what happens. I don't know. American hostage rescue experts from special forces have been here for some days, and Israel has their own hostage rescue special forces. So you probably got the world's best working on it. If I am connected with you, I will hear your voice. I have no idea what you mean. I'm completely in the dark what that means. I'm reading the chat. I don't do the Telegram. You got to send me an email and I'll give you the Telegram, okay? You should be able to figure out why Telegram's not censored. Other places on the internet are. Enough on that. So rest assured that the two witnesses are here waiting for the light to go green, as they say. And this is a big deal of what's going on now. And the next event is Zechariah 12. Okay, so I'm going to sign off now and take care of my chores here with the dogs or whatever, and I'll be doing updates all during the day on Telegram and into the night until I crash. So, and I've got a lot of good sources, and it's free, so I welcome you there, and I'll keep doing the YouTubes. And my many thanks to those that have sent offerings in. I'm almost at the point where I can replace the dead iPad. They run about 5,600 shekels, 5,800 shekels in Israel, and the dollar buys about 4 shekels. I think I'm over halfway. I'm pretty darn sure I'm way over halfway now. But if you would like to help me get the other iPad, then it'd be easy for me to continue doing the Bible studies like I used to do. It's pretty hard for me to get it done now. I would use one iPad to do the broadcasting, and the other iPad I would hold, read the Bible, do the word interpretations, to fix the translations, and I have my notes in there, and it was really easy for me to do it. So the one that I was using to do that was, I don't know, 3-4 years old. I used it every day, many hours, and the battery just ran down and would never open up again. It just expired on me. I tried to resuscitate it. I even bought a new charger for it. I tried everything I could think of. It's dead as a doornail, rigor mortis. So we're close to getting another one. So if you'd like to contribute, there's offering information in the description box under the video, Patreon and GoFundMe. Either one would work. Amazon does not ship phones or tablets or computers to Israel, so I can't. I have to buy it here, and it costs more. because they put a 17% VAT tax on it when it enters the country, and the retailers here are not into the discount world, So it costs a little bit more than will in America. When you take into account sending here from America involves expensive shipping and VAT. It probably costs over $100 to get it over here, unless you send it with the post office, which is extremely dangerous and slow. So you'd have to use UPS, DHL, probably $125 or something. And then it's going to get hit with 17% tax. So, and then the warranties from America, it's not here. And then the plugs are going to be for American electricity, not here. It makes no sense. You got to get it here. I was thinking of getting a Samsung, but I believe the Lord showed me that if I get the iPad, I can transfer the data between real quick and from the cloud, so I'll have it just set up in 20, 30 minutes, an hour maybe. And the Samsung, I'll be working on it for a week or two. And it's probably better to have the iOS on the iPad than the Android stuff. And I use the iPad Pro, the big one, so I have memory, and I got good microphones, and I got good speakers, and I got a 12.9 screen, so it's much better. That's what I've been using for a long time, and it works pretty good. What else? So please pray for me and my wife, Rivka. She got stuck out of the country when this started, and I don't know when I'm going to see her again. It might be Christmas or something, We don't observe Christmas here, but it might be a long time. I don't know. It may not be. So it's like, not that they're expensive flights. It's like nothing, and if you get them, they're going to be very costly, if you could even get one. Okay, so pray for us for our peace, safety, protection, and joy, and pray that I don't have to go into the bomb shelters, please. I have two on this place I live at, but one's an old one from 1948, and the other's a modern one, and pray I don't have to use it. And pray for the animals and pets we have. They're all rescues, and pray for the peace of Jerusalem, and you could, depending how you move, you could pray for the pilots, you could pray for the soldiers, whatever, And, okay, so that's it. I'm out. I'm going to get a little coffee, play with the dogs, and get ready to dig into Telegram, okay? I'm out. Oh, I send my shalom to all those who love Yeshua HaMashiach, and praises to Father God Jehovah and His Son Yeshua HaMashiach. I'm out.